Should I start? Hello, can you hear me? I have a loud voice. Everybody can hear without ear. Good morning, Assalamu alaikum, Namaskar, greetings to everybody. My name is Shelly Rahman. I am Mrs. Alam's first cousin. We live in Pennsylvania. I'm here today with a very mixed feeling. Of course, we're very sad. Ashraf, who is to call Kochida, is gone. But at the same time, there's a joy also, because his life was a great one. I didn't realize what a good soul he was when he was alive. I'm appreciating him more now. What he did, because I know him for over 60 years, and I've seen a lot, he has seen a lot, so it's kind of a mixed feeling. It will be very hard for Muktapa and his son Enver, but this is the way to go. He had a full life. He's a very interesting person because his life was full of a lot of tragedy. And his earlier years was very challenging. He lost his mother at age 2. And he didn't remember her. This is the only picture he had. Her name was Meher Ara. When she passed away, Dr. Kochida was only 2 years old. His older brother was 5.5. Younger sister was 1, and the little sister was only 11 days. And then, at age 4, his father passed away. Age 6? Oh, sorry. Age 6, his father passed away. And that was also sort of accidental. So you can imagine how challenging was his life. So he was raised by aunt and uncle. It was a happy life. But the amazing thing was, he was always happy, and he was always laughing. His laugh, I can hear it now. That's the one thing I will miss always, that how heartful laugh was there. But I never saw him losing his temper. He must have a temper sometime, somewhere, with the student maybe, but I never witnessed it. It's really hard, and I don't know where to start to talk about. They asked me to introduce. He retired. After retirement, he was more busy. He was doing everything for Muktapa. He spoiled Muktapa like anything. She's going to miss him big time. Cooking, gardening, and then he started writing books. So we put some of those books in display there. So this is how rich his life was. And today we can celebrate. So I will next ask my husband, Aminur Rahman, to recite from the Holy Quran.
Where is the Quran?
Mm-hmm. Here it is.
Assalamu alaikum, good afternoon. I'm going to recite a couple of pages from the Quran, which it's my phone. The surah is Surah Al-Imran. I'm going to recite about 15 lines. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alif Lam Mim. Allahu la ilaha illa huwal hayyul qayyum. نزل عليك الكتاب بالحق مصدقا لما بين يدي وأنزل التوراة والإنجيل من قبل هدى للناس وأنزل الفرقان إن الذين كفروا بآيات الله لهم عذاب شديد والله عزيز ذو انتقام إن الله لا يخفى عليه شيء في الأرض ولا في السماء والذي يصوركم في الأرحام كيف يشاء لا إله إلا هو العزيز الحكيم والذي أنزل عليك الكتاب منه آيات محكمات هن أم الكتاب وأخر متشابهات فأما الذين في قلوبهم زيغ فيتبعون ما تشابه منه ابتغاء الفتنة وابتغاء تأويله وما يعلم تأويله إلا الله والراسخون في العلم يقولون كل من عند ربنا وما يذكر إلا أولو الألباب ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب ربنا إنك جامع الناس ليوم لا ريب فيه إن الله لا يخلف الميعاد صدق الله العظيم. This is the part of the Quran when God is saying about life and death, and afterwards, after life and death, he said, I'm done.
No. Dr. Alam was very well liked by her nieces and nephew. They will all miss. He had a special name for everybody. It was all personal. He rarely called anybody younger than him by name, like he had a name for me, and it's a very funny one. You'll laugh. I think most Bengali will understand. He used to call me Petni. Its English version will be what? Ugly witch? And I spoke to him a week before he passed away. I called Muktapa and he picked up the phone. So the last time also he called me the same thing. I Petni, ki korish. So forever I was his Petni. Okay, now Rossi and Anissa, they're going to say something.
It's so nice to see everybody here. Glad you all came. I'm sure my uncle would be very happy to see you guys. My name's Rossi, and this is my wife, Anisha, and my mom's right there. I am Dr. Ashraf Alam's nephew. I called him Kochi Fupa. Kochi was his nickname, and Fupa means uncle in Bengali. The last time I got to spend some time with my dear uncle was less than a year ago in Houston after my father passed away. He came with his family, my aunt, his son, and his granddaughter, and managed to brighten up our day for the few days that he was there. As Shelly Auntie mentioned, he had this enormous big belly laugh that would brighten up anybody's day, and of course his jolly nature. One of his great characteristics was he never wasted any time. He was always doing something. Well, let me take that back. He did binge watch a lot of Bangladeshi dramas on the internet, so I guess he wasted some time there. But when he wasn't doing that, he was always doing something productive, like gardening, cooking, baking, experimenting with new recipes, sharing Bangladeshi sweets with us, and his produce from his garden in his backyard. Something else that I really loved about him personally was he always had a way of making me feel very comfortable. No matter how I was feeling, whether I was sad or angry, frustrated, happy, after I spoke with him, I always felt more confident, reassured. And I think a lot of people feel that way once you speak with him. He is wise beyond imagination. But we lost one of our pillars of our family. That's irreplaceable, but we will always remember him fondly, and I will strive to be more like him. So that's what I had to say.
He'll be in our heart forever. We love Kochipupa.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now I would like somebody from our earlier life and Dr. Alam's earlier life, somebody he knew since 1969, otherwise, yeah. Dr. Ali Khan, otherwise will you come and, we go back long time. Dr. Alam was our professor, and Dr. Khan and I was a student in the same university. So we used to see each other, and it was fun time. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rahman. Mrs. Alam, Anbar, extended family, immediate family, my friends and colleagues from ECSU. When I gave the news to our family members, me and my wife, they were deeply sorrowed, and they knew him, your family, very well. And condolences from them, from our family. Today, we are here to say farewell or goodbye to an outstanding individual, Dr. Alam, who was not only our esteemed colleague at ECSU, but a cherished friend for many of us. As Ms. Rahman said, I met him back in 1969 as a young student, and he was just returned from abroad, a faculty professor in biochemistry. And then after 72, we left the country, and back here in 1978, we met him. He came in 77, I believe, maybe, and 77. We came in 78. So what a coincidence that I met my professor here. he has left an undeniable mark to many of us at ECSU. He was a scholar, has a brilliant mind, and a heart full of compassion. I saw him mentoring and advising faculty and students, and he had changed the careers of many students and young faculty to be successful in their path to attain what they chose. But Dr. Alam and our family, we have been here almost 45 years. First time we went to his home, that was in North Road Street. Mrs. Alam was not there initially, he was by himself. Then they moved to another house in Dyer Street. We spent a lot of time over there. Then they moved to the new house, Red Gate. But he was, besides his professional career, he was a man of diverse talent and interest. Some of them mentioned that he used to love gardening, he used to love writing, cooking. So he was also a good family man. He has an incapable way of loving people. But that love was not just for the people. Those who know him, he used to love nature, animals, art, and he used to see the beauty in everyone, everywhere, for everybody. When we met together, somebody mentioned the way he used to laugh. His laugh was the characteristics. It was, I would say, to me, it was infectious. You can hear him when he laughed. And his sense of humor, I would say, a beacon of light for many of us when we have stressed days or we have challenges in our lives. Sit down with him, spend some time, you'll get some relief. So today, as we mourn his death or loss, but we also should celebrate the life that he lived, his memories, and the great legacy that he is going to leave us. Dr. Alam is gone, but Mrs. Alam, I know death gives us heartache that never can be healed, but love and memories to our heart, nobody can steal that. We'll always remember him in our heart, an outstanding gentleman. For each one of us, for our life, it's a stopping place, or you can say a resting place on the road to the eternity. We are just stopping here for some time. For some of us, it is slow. The journey is slow. For some of us, it's pretty quick. But whenever we finish our journey, we'll be in a better place, not better place, in a greater place that we don't know. So, for him leaving us, it's really a sorrow, but also, Shady said, it's a joy. We are celebrating. We are so lucky that we are celebrating his legacy. This month is the holiest month in our religion, Ramadan, and according to Hadith al-Bukhari and our Prophet, peace be upon him, he said that during this month, the gates of heaven are open, the gates of hell is closed, and the devils are locked up, they cannot do any wrongdoings. And based on that, there was what is called fatwa by Al-Humayni, which was translated, he said, anybody who passes away in the month of Ramadan, His Almighty, Allah Ta'ala, don't give him the punishment. So, we are lucky, he is lucky, Mrs. Alam, that he is in peace. So, we can definitely feel the sorrow, but think about, he is in a good place right now. I'm going to finish by, I always do that, a small poem from Nobel laureate Tagore that I'm going to read in Bengali first, then I'll put it in English so they understand. It's a small, it says, Dukkhero timire jodi jole tobo mongol alok tobe tai hok. Mrityu jodi kache ane tomar omritomoy lok tobe tai hok. Pujar prodipe tobo jole jodi mamo dipto shuk tobe tai hok. Ostro akhi pore jodi fute ute tobo sneho chok tobe tai hok. In English, if our divine light shines forth on my dark night of sorrow, so be it. If death alone brings near your adobe of sweetness, so be it. If anguish burns like a flame in the heart of your sacred lamb, so be it. If in the dark pools of my flowing tears, your tender eyes bloom forth, so be it. So when I said in the beginning that we are saying farewell or goodbye, actually the farewell is not the end and it's not forever. We are simply saying that, Dr. Alam, we are going to miss you until and unless we meet you again in a heavenly place. Thank you all.
Thanks, Athar Bhai. It was well said. But I have to say, I cannot say Tai Hok. I'm forced to say Tai Hok. There are times, don't feel like saying that. Thank you. Now I'm going to call Dr. Banerjee to say a few things. Yeah, he was Dr. Alam's favorite person, because I heard that.
Good afternoon. It's a very sad day for all of us. And I am really very much in sorrow, so I can't say much because he was like a second father to me. I first met him in the year 2000 when I moved from Charleston to Elizabeth City. My parents were with me, and when we first met, my dad came with me to his home. He just invited us for tea. Found out that he went to the same school during the same period in Calcutta, Mitra Institution. And my dad told him that, well, I'll be leaving, but please take care of my kid. And he said, don't worry, he's like son to me. And then also he was a friend of my father-in-law who did his master's in chemistry from Dhaka University during that period of time. So we had real scholars and doyens at that time at Elizabeth City State University. Dr. Chowdhury, the other Dr. Alam, who we used to call Boro Alam, then, he used to make fun, and we had a lot of good times. Remember that he used to say that he was the fair Alam, so he's known as Fasha Alam in Bengali. So he whenever you go to his room was just next to mine. And whenever I used to go to his room, whatever depression, whatever issues, whatever problem, he will give his, patented laughter and immediately give us a solution or make you feel better. There was something feel better in him that we are going to miss. I remember in his room, there was a photo of Tagore and Einstein together. I asked him, sir, why this photo? And he said, one is a giant of science, and other was a Nobel in, literature. So there has to be a marriage between science and literature. Otherwise, you can neither be a good scientist or a good, person in arts and literature. So later on in life, I found out that he can write really good. He sent me some books, and I read them, and it was awesome. I mean, there was a great quality. I mean, he is a PhD in biochemistry, in lipid, in a synthesis. I have talked to him about that. He had given seminars, but I didn't know that he has another character in writing such great poems and great literature, and all of them was, that touched your heart. Last month, he sent me a poem that he wrote through, text, and, I said, it's fantastic, and I called him back, but for some reason, couldn't talk to him. But that was the last time that I interacted with him. But Dr. Alam will be with us forever. He is not gone. His spirit, his laughter, not a single time has heard anything that he said bad about anybody. He told me that, Dr. Banerjee, learn to endure. That's the bottom line. It is a tough world. We are immigrants, but সহ্য করতে শিখুন. এটা উনি সবসময় বলতেন. I have a class at 12:30. Dr. Alam was always on time. Even the very last day that he taught, he was an octogenarian at that time. But I saw him every day to class on time. And I respect to his memory and his soul and, his spirit. I want to go to my class on time at 12:30. He was a great professor. He taught us. I learned a lot from him. Even I learned from him how to grate the correct way. He taught me how to do the carving. His philosophy, his teaching will always be with us, at least with me. Again, my sincere condolences to Anando and Auntie here. We are there with you. Dr. Alam is there with you too, in spirit. He is among us. And with that, I concur. God bless his soul. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Banerjee. But I must say something because since he mentioned Farsha Alam, Fair Alam, in our Bengali culture, the skin color is very important. As you know, Kochida was dark skin, so you can imagine all her sister-in-laws, Shali Amra, we made a lot of fun about that. So I thought I mentioned that. And also her niece and nephew, they used to call him Kalachadir Mishtir Bhandar. Kalachad was a sweet store in Dhaka, and he's the Mishtir Bhandar. It goes together. Thank you. So I had to mention that, yeah. Now I will request Dr. Ajmal Sobhan to come and say a few words, please.
I'll keep it very brief since there's been a lot of speeches already. Most of this stuff related to Alam Bhai has already been mentioned. I will just mention a brief story from way back. The first time I met him, which was almost 40 years ago, he looked at me and he said, "Ami to tomake chini." I said, how is that possible? বলে তোমাদের পাড়ায় আমি থাকতাম আর তোমার নাম ছিল পচা। I almost fell off my chair. I said, nobody knows me by that name. Pocha in Bengali means something that is rotten or stale. So I said, this is a secret. How do you know about it? He said, yes, I know. It was quite apparent, and they called you Pocha for a reason. So the reason was that I used to have severe eczema in my legs and my back of the neck, and it was always blistering and pussy, and so they almost, they called me in Bengali, they called Pocha just as a matter of affection so that you get healed from it. So he just blurted it out right the first time he saw me, and he gave his uninhibited laughter. And he would say, why is he laughing and saying you were rotten? I said, nobody will understand. But it was perfectly fine with me, and that intimacy started right from that get-go. And we've already mentioned about his laughter, just amazing laughter. So I'm just going to end by saying one thing, that the body transitions, but the soul remains. And the essence of a human being never goes away. It becomes part of the cosmos and part of the universe, the universal consciousness that we all are. There is no difference between you and the universe. And once you coalesce the two, you become part of the supreme consciousness. You may call it God, you may call it consciousness, you may call it the self that we all know. But in that sense, he has become part of this cosmos, the part of consciousness that we all are, and he is right now watching us and laughing and saying, my God, they're making a big deal out of me. But that was how he was. He was a man, he was a spiritual person, he was a liberal person, he was not particularly into religion, but he was an extremely spiritual person, and he was a jovial human being. I will remember him forever. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sobhan. So you're Pocha, I am Petni, okay? Goes very well, yeah. Now I will request Dr. Siddiqui to come and recite from his own book. That will be very nice. Thanks.
Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon. We met Dr. Alam 40-some years ago when we came first time. The first thing, and probably among many other things you will remember, his infectious, thunderous smile nobody can forget. Time to time, he and I will talk regarding, because he was a writer. He used to say, Mukul, you know, I wrote my first book when I was in college, and he used to write poetry. I write poetry, but I started way late, so at any rate, for my reverence for his literary spirit and being a poet, I'm going to recite one of my poems. Here goes. I'm also sorry that I do not have an English translation. This is in Bengali, so unfortunately half of you may not understand. বন্ধুগণ, আমার শেষ যাবার খোলা পালঙ্কে তোমাদের ভালোবাসার কাঁধে তুলে নিও। লোভনে আতরে নয়, ভালোবাসার সৌরভে সাজিয়ে দিও আমার কাফনের কাপড়। আমার কবরের পাশে ফুল বিছিয়ে প্রশান্তি খুঁজো না বৃথা লোক দেখানোর। যদি কখনো মনে পড়ে আমার কথা নিভৃতে, তোমাদের বেদনার হাত তুলে দোয়া চেয়ে মোর হই বিধাতার কাছে। এর চাইতে বড় পাওয়া আমার কি বা আছে? যদি কোনো এক শারদ সন্ধ্যায় আমার কথা মনে পড়ে, আমায় খুঁজে নিও তোমাদেরই মন মাঝে, আখি মুদে নিমেষের তরে। হয়তো পড়বে মনে চুটি আড্ডা দেওয়ার ক্ষণ কত নিশি ভরে। মনে করো সেই স্মৃতিটুকু কোনো এক বিকালের পরন্ত বেলায়, হয়তো বা কোনো এক কদমের ছায়, হাডুডু দাঁড়িয়ে বান্দা গোল্লা ছুটের অজ পাড়া গায়। দেখেছিলে আমায়? এরই মাঝে কত সোনালি বিকেল গেছে ঝড়ে, কেমনে জানি না হায়। যদি পড়ে মনে দীর্ঘশ্বাসে নয়, ভালোবাসার গভীর নিঃশ্বাসে বুক ভরে স্মরণ করো এই হারিয়ে যাওয়া বন্ধুর কথা। তোমাদের ছক বাঁধা জীবনের ব্যস্ততার সমুদ্রে যেন চিরতরে না হারায় স্মৃতির গহ্বরে। দোহাই তোমাদের, প্রদীপ জ্বেলো না আমার কবরের পাশে, বরং প্রদীপের তেলটুকু বেঁচে গেলে সেটা দিয়ে কিনে নিও একটা মোমের বাতি। উৎসর্গিত করো জনতার তরে নিবেদিত মহাপ্রাণ। যারা রচিল কাব্য, রচিল গ্রন্থমালা জীবনের জয়গানে, ঘরে ঘরে জ্বালিয়েছে আশা আলো, আলোকিত জীবনের সন্ধানে দিয়েছে ভুবন ভরি আনন্দ অশ্রুবাণে। ধন্যবাদ।
Thank you, Dr. Siddiqui. I must say it was a wow. When he said he's going to recite from his book, I thought, oh, another Bangladeshi writing poetry. I didn't expect this. Very impressive, really touching. Yeah. Okay. Next I'm going to Sabit. Are you ready? Sabit is another nephew, Muktapa's sister Malapa's son. He's going to say.
Hi, thank you all for being here. This is the second funeral in Elizabeth City where I feel woefully underprepared. I was just a little boy when my grandmother passed away, and I had a New York Giants starter jacket and sweatpants. At least I have a suit this time. But no matter how much time I have, I'm just not ready for this. He had a way of making you feel really, really good. I saw him last year, and he went, "Hey, Potka!" and hugged me so hard. I felt like I was 7 again, and when he made Elizabeth City feel like Disney World. We would come here every year, and it's been too long. But he was an avid gardener, and I'm really convinced we're going to put something special, somebody very special in that ground. That grass is going to grow greener, and he's my kalu. He's my uncle. It's been a hard year for us, and I do believe that up there in heaven, Pastor Mama, my other uncle, my Boppy, and him are having a good time, like they always did. And he made this city very special. I wish I was here under better circumstances. Thank you.
Thanks, Abid. We're coming almost to the end. Anybody's name I didn't mention wants to come and say anything? If you want to, okay. Sure.
Hi, I was not prepared to speak. I just drove in from Durham, that's why I'm late. I just want to say a few words. So, Dr. Alam, I used to call him Dotalar Mama, so I don't know how much you know what Mama means. Mama's uncle for your mom's brother. And Mama is someone that is very, very special. I have 4 wonderful mamas back in India, but I used to call him Mama because that's how close he was to me. And then Dotalar Mama. When I was growing up in Elizabeth City, everyone I knew had 1-storied houses. And that's just something I knew. Houses were 1-storied. Houses in India were multiple stories, but here it was 1 story. Dotalar Mama means 2-storied mama. I used to call him that because he had 2 stories, and I used to run up the stairs, and then we used to slide down. Ma used to tell us that there are nails in there, maybe you'll get hurt. Dotalar Mama never had nails on his stairs. Elizabeth City is special to me because growing up, all of my parents' colleagues, they were my family. They made us feel like we weren't really away from home. And Mama's laugh is the one thing that I'll always remember. Just hearing him laugh will make everybody laugh. But Mama, we'll miss you. The world won't be the same without you. But I know you're happy where you are right now. Thank you.
Thank you. We are almost coming to the end. I just wanted to say something on behalf of my cousin Muktapa. She's not going to speak today because you can understand. But of course, she's very happy that you are all here. One last thing I wanted to say about Mukta. Mukta means pearl. But Mukta was kind of not the Shuddha Bangla jeta boli proper. In proper Bengali is Mukto. And Kochida always called Muktapa Mukto. He was the only one. Tai bolto na? Mukto. And so, Kochida, your Mukto is sitting here and will be missing you. And your Petni will also miss you. I just want, it will be closing from Anwar, Kochida's son, so he's going to say you. And after that, I think we will all go to the graveyard. Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you for all of you who all took the time to come for my dad's funeral. It means a lot to us. Even in this sad occasion, we're here to celebrate his life and not just to mourn his death. He was just not my father, he was my best friend, my guardian angel, and I will miss him for the rest of my life. Okay. Thank you for coming.